Skinny Hardaway 7T back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Today we here with a MMA EP, right? We got UFC 289 this weekend. Nunes versus Aldana. Should be a great fight, great main event. It's a women's night. The women's got the big show tonight. Amanda Nunes is going to be in a fight with a very game opponent, right? This is going to be one of Amanda Nunes' better opponents, right? That she has faced, right? Amanda Nunes, being probably the best women's MMA fighter ever, right? It's hard to find her good matchups. This weekend, UFC 289, we got a good matchup. No. This Saturday. I'm doing the fight breakdown and prediction cards right now. Shout out my guy, Gnarly Ray. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, Gnarly Ray. No, it don't come on tonight. Come on this weekend, this Saturday. But I'm about to get us right. Now so we can get it, going for the weekend. I'm gonna get out ahead of it, right? I'm back to doing my prediction videos, early in the week, right? Doing early in the week, so give people time, to get to them and things like that. But I digress, right? We go pick every fight on the card tonight. We go take the winners, and then we go chop us up a parlay at the end of the night, right? So the first card of the night, we got Bell Beta versus Oliveira. This was a 15 fight card. Now it's a 12 fight card. We got Bell Beta versus Oliveira. I'm expecting this to be a good fight. Both these fighters, Oliveira is a more of a stand-up fighter, right? Bell Beta has some stand-up, right, and has some ground game. She could go either way, right? Oliveira, I think, has the edge in the stand-up game. Is probably going to be Oliveira wants this fight to stay standing up, right? Belbita has a mixed bag, but I think Oliveira on the feet is just going to be too good for Belbita. It's going to be an interesting fight, though, right? I'm going to take Oliveira in the first fight of the night at 6:05, right? I'm going to take Oliveira over Belbita. So Oliveira over Belbita in the first fight, and what I think is going to be a stand-up fight that I think Oliveira is going to be able to edge. Maria Oliveira and Diana Belbita, right? The second fight, we got David Dovrak versus Steve Arceg, right? I'm expecting David Dovrak, just to be too much for him. David Dovrak, I feel like it's better all around. I feel like it's better all around, you know what I mean? In the stand-up game, Steve Arceg, feel like he's just outclassed right here. You know what I mean? David Dovrak, I like his bag. Got a lot of tricks in his bag, right? He very well could get the stoppage in this fight, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he got the stoppage in this fight, right? So take David Dovrak in there. So we got Oliveira over Belbita, and we got Dovrak over Arceg right now, right? We're gonna move on to the third fight of the. Fight of the night. We got Kyle Nelson versus Blake Bleeder. Blake Bleeder is the favorite in this fight at 250. Kyle Nelson is a game opponent, right? Always a game opponent is Nelson. I expect this to be an exciting fight as well. I'm going to edge out Blake Blighter. I think he's just better, at what he does. Nelson is kind of he's kind of a stand-up guy, right? Blighter is an all-around guy, but I'm thinking Blighter, wherever this fight goes, right? I'm giving Blighter the edge in this, right? I'm taking Black Blighter over Kyle Nelson. I do think it's gonna be an exciting fight though, because Kyle Nelson is always a good watch, right? And now we got Zahabi, right? We got Zahabi versus Corleen. Corleen and Zahabi. This is probably going to be mostly a stand-up fight, right? Both these guys are stand-up fighters. This is going to be a stand-up fight, right? Neither of these guys going to the ground. This is going to be a stand-up fight, right? I think where Zahabi, right, may be a little bit of a better striker, right? I think Queen Leg has that power advantage. I think he has more of a chance to hurt. You know what I mean? Zahabi. If Zahabi wins this, I wouldn't be overly surprised, right? But I'm going to edge out Kool-Aid, Cooling in this fight, right? Because I think he has a slightly more power, right, than Zahabi. So I think Ari Kool-Aid is going to be able to get the win in this fight. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up. So we gonna take Krulin and that one, right? And the fifth fight on the card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the fifth fight on the card, we got Miranda Maverick, right, versus Jasmine Judavickas, right? This is gonna be a good fighter as well. Judavickas is strictly a stand-up fighter. Miranda Maverick is strictly a ground fighter, right? It's gonna be grappler. It's gonna be classic grappler versus striker. Maverick versus Judavickas. This fight right here is simple, right? This fight right here is simple. If you believe that this fight is going to be taken down to the ground, you go with Maverick. If you believe this fight is going to be folks standing up, you go with Judavickas. Maverick is going to be coming out. She's going to be trying to push the ground game. She's going to be trying to push the ground game, right? And you're going to have Judavickas who wants to stand up. You have Judavickas who wants to stand up mostly. You know what I mean? Krulin, yeah, Krulin, yeah. You're gonna have Judavickas who wants to stand up and utilize her striking. You're gonna have Maverick who's a wrestler, strong wrestler, heavy wrestling. So it's gonna be basically if Maverick can control the ground game versus Judavickas being able to keep the fight on the feet. In this fight, right, if you want to take a dog, I say take this one because this is gonna be strictly a style matchup, right? But we're gonna go with Miranda Maverick in this one. If you want to take a dog, Judavickas will probably be, a nice dog for the day. If she can find a way to keep the fight standing, she could win this fight, right? But I'm going with the wrestling of Miranda Maverick in this one over Judavickas, right? So we got Maverick, we got Krulin, we got Blighter, we got Dovrak, and we got Maria Oliveira, right? The main event on the prelim, right? We got Amamov, and Chris Curtis, right? Amavov, Russian guy, stand-up guy, right? Chris Curtis, Black American guy, boxer. This is going to be mostly a stand-up fight. Amavov does have some wrestling in his bag, right? But even he mostly, you know what I mean, wants to stand up. So I'm expecting this fight. To be fought in a stand-up battle. Chris Curtis and Emo. Norsadine Emo, right? I always butcher his first name, but his first name is Norsadine Emo. I'm expecting this fight to be fought on the feet, right? I think Imavov is going to be a bit more active, right? Chris Curtis, the only problem is he doesn't like throw a whole lot of punches, right? But when he does land, he's effective when he lands, and he's dangerous with his hands, right? He got good takedown defense. Right? Keeps the fight up. Imavov likes to mix in takedowns with his striking, but is mostly a striker. I think if it gets too tough for him on the feet, Emo will be more likely to go to the ground than Chris Curtis. But Chris Curtis, his only problem, right, and what scares me with Chris Curtis is that sometimes he don't throw a whole lot of, punches. Very strong with his punches, but don't necessarily throw a whole lot of them, right? In this one, I'm going to go with the power punching of Chris Curtis, right, over the value of Emo. I do think this is going to be a good fight. Good fight, right? Back and forth fight. This one right here is a toss-up, right? You got the odds, Chris Curtis plus 120, Emo minus 154, right? Close fight either way. I'm taking Chris Curtis in that one over Emo, right? We ain't started the parlays yet. We just picking the winners and losers, right? We're going to head to the main card now. We go head to the main card now, right? First fight of the main card. We got Eric Anders. We got Eric Anders, right? Eric Anders used to play for the University of Alabama. Roll Tide, was a linebacker, famous linebacker, scored that defensive touchdown in the 2012. You know what I mean? National championship. 2012 national championship, I think. But we got Eric Anders versus Barra Holt, right? Barra Holt, this is gonna be a good fight, gonna be a stand-up fight. Eric Anders and Barra Holt. Eric Anders does have ground game. Barra Holt has ground game as well. Both guys would much rather, stand up, but do have the ground game in their arsenal. I could see this fight going to the ground, right? But what I'm thinking is these guys are going to decide to stand, and these guys are going to decide to trade with one another, right? This is another fight that could go either way. This UFC card got a lot of 50-50 fights on it, right? I hit all the underdogs last week, and I lost on Malarkey, who was the favorite, right? I had one loss on my card last week. No, I had 2 losses, right? Plus the main event, Kaká Friends lost, but I feel like he got robbed, right? But that's another story. But this right here is the fight that could go either way, right? You got Anders versus Barrow. Barrow. This is a toss up, right? I'm going to take Andre Barrow, right? But I'm not overly confident in it. Eric Anders is dangerous. He could end this fight in the first round, right? Eric Anders is one of those people. He could end the fight in the first round, but if you can get past the first round with him, then the fight get a little easier, right? I'm going to take Mark Andre Barrow, but I'm not taking it with all the confidence in the world, right? But I digress. We got Dan Ainge versus Nate Ledweir. Nate Ledweir is coming in with some momentum, right? Coming in with a lot of hype. People like Nate, right? I like Nate. Think he's a damn good fighter. Dan Ainge, we all know what Dan Ainge is capable of, right? Also a stand-up fighter, good knockout power, good knockout strength. Just like Nate, this is going to be a stand-up fight, I think, as well. If you're going to, this is another underdog, right? Along with Chris Curtis, this is another underdog with Nate that you might want to consider taking, right? If you're looking for a dog. But in this fight, I'm going with Dan Ainge just because I know more so what Dan Ainge is bringing to the table. I know what he's capable of, right? I think it's gonna be an extremely, fire highlight kind of fight, right? But I'm going to take Dan Ainge. Dan Ainge probably gonna win that fight by split decision. That's probably how close that junk gonna be, right? But we going with Dan Ainge, right? We got Mike Malott versus Adam Figge. I think Mike Malott much better wrestler, right? Adam Figge is like a freestyle, you know what I mean, kind of fight. I think Mike Malott is just so much better than him on the ground, right? I think on the feet it could go either way, but I think Mike Malott is just so much better than him, right? In the grapple game, I think Mike Malott, wins that fight fairly easy. You know what I mean? Just to be real, I think he wins it fairly easy, right? So I'm going to go with Mike Malott. Probably going to, start off on the feet, touch him a little bit, take him down, pound him out, right? But I got Mike Malott over Adam Fidget in that. And then we got the co-main event, right? Charles Oliveira and Bernard Darush. Charles Oliveira and Bernard Darush. What's good, Pablo Escobar? Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy, whether you're here for a good time or a long time, whether you just passing through, making it do what it do, y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. We talking about this UFC card. We get the co-main right now, right? I'm trying to run through the picks, right? We gonna make our parlay at the end, right? Then we go roll us up a little blunt. I'm gonna holler at y'all for a second, and I'm gonna make sure I put the timestamps at the end of this, so when y'all come back, y'all can know exactly where the picks at, so you don't gotta waste your time scanning through the whole video. Shout out everybody sliding through this thing, man. Shout out everybody sliding through this thing. Was good, Pablo Escobar. But the co-main event, right? We got Charles Oliveira versus Bernal Darush, right? Oliveira versus Darush. This is gonna be a good fight as well. This very well could be a main event fight. Now I think Oliveira and Darush, right? If we're going to edge the striking, if we're going to go striking and we're going to go ground game, right? You could almost say it's tit for tat on either side, right? The mind would think that Charles Oliveira, this for this weekend, D man. This for this weekend. My first mind tells me, right, Charles Oliveira will have the advantage on the ground, right? But Darush is not a scrub on the ground either, right? My first mind would say Darush maybe has the edge striking, but we all know Charles Oliveira ain't a scrub with the striking aspect of it either, right? Now, the thought is, right, if it goes to the ground, Oliveira wins, right? But I don't think that's necessarily a foregone conclusion. You know what I mean? In this fight, I would pick, like, I'm thinking, right, I'm going in this fight, right, I'm gonna take Darush, right, but I'm gonna take Darush for a different reason, right? I think the skill level and talent in this fight is even. I almost think that Charles Oliveira will win, right? But I just watched Kaká Friends, last week in his fight. I watched Kaká Friends basically get robbed, right? In a fight where I thought Kaká Friends won. And I think Kaká Friends kind of got robbed, right? Because they're building up a fight between what's the guy Kaká fans just beat Aldana. They building up a fight between Albeda and Darush, right? So why I think this gonna be a close fight between Oliveira and Darush, right? I'm going to edge Dariush, not necessarily because I think he's better than Charles Oliveira, right? But I'm going to edge Dariush because I feel like that the UFC, because I feel like the UFC is trying to build up a fight between Dariush, and I feel like they're trying to build up a fight between Dariush, and they're trying to build up a fight between Albaza. Albaza just got, what I feel like is a gift decision over Kaká Friends, and I feel like that's strictly because they want Dariush and Albaza to fight, and whoever wins that, right, they're going to push them as one of the new faces, right, of the UFC. They're just my personal opinion. So I say take Dariush in this fight. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think Dariush will edge out maybe a split decision. Will edge out maybe a split decision. The co-main event is not a title fight. The co-main event is more so like a title eliminator, right, between Oliveira and Dariush. But Amanda Nunes and Aldana, right, the main event, we about to get into it right now. Nunes versus Aldana, right, main event time. Main event time. This is gonna be the best fight on the card. You know what I mean? Nunes versus Aldana. Nunes is probably seen as the best woman, right, to ever put on a pair of MMA gloves, right? Probably seen as the best woman to ever put on a pair of UFC gloves, right? Is Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is in a fight with somebody who a lot of people feel like, right, can compete with her. People, she in the ring with somebody a lot of people feel like, is maybe just as good as Amanda Nunes. If this fight, we know how good Amanda Nunes is on her feet, right? Almost nobody can strike with Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is so good on her feet, right? We forget that Amanda Nunes is actually a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know what I mean, black belt. We forget that she has a ground game. In this fight, we finally got in this fight, we finally got somebody, right? In this fight, we finally got somebody who we feel like maybe she could match Amanda Nunes, right? We finally got somebody in the stand-up game, right? Who we feel like, hey, maybe she got good enough hands to where she could match Amanda Nunes. This is going to be Amanda Nunes' toughest fight that she's had in the minute, right? I feel like Julia Pena kind of snuck up on Amanda Nunes. Like she took Pena to light, right? And Pena ended up getting the win. She came back the second time and she dominated Julia Pena, right? This fight, this fight, I don't think, Aldana would need to even be a sneak attack, would even need to be a surprise attack, would even need to be a surprise attack, right? For her, to beat Amanda Nunes. I think she is good enough to beat, Amanda Nunes while Amanda Nunes is on her A game, right? Amanda Nunes is going to be in the ring with somebody. I don't want to say who has, better hands, right? But I think Aldana has just as good as hands as Amanda Nunes, right? Also, the thing about Aldana is if the fight goes to the ground, Aldana is not a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt like Amanda Nunes, right? But Aldana can hold her own on the ground as well, very well versed on the ground as well as she is with striking, right? But with all that being said, I'm going Amanda Nunes in this fight, right? And I think this bout is going to be fought mostly standing up, right? And I'm going with Amanda Nunes, and I'm going with Amanda Nunes by the stoppage, right? Don't think it's going to be in the first round or anything like that, but I do think because Aldana is a great striker as well, because Aldana is, intent and okay with striking herself. I do think this is going to come down to a striking battle, right? And I think Amanda Nunes is just slightly a better striker. I think she's going to be able to edge in the striking, and we all know that the power Amanda Nunes is bring. So I think Amanda Nunes eventually she's going to be able to accumulate these punches, right? Going to be able to pile up, add up these punches, and I think eventually she's going to get Aldana out of there, whether it's a TKO. I think it'd be rather a TKO more so than a flush knockout, right? Like a fight stoppage. But I do see this fight being fought mostly in the stand-up game, and I do have Amanda Nunes winning by stoppage. I go Amanda Nunes. I go Amanda Nunes stoppage in the fourth round. So I go Amanda Nunes TKO fourth round stoppage. You know what I mean? At the end of this video, when I go back to the description, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put the timestamps in it, right? So it'll be timestamps at the beginning of the video. I'm gonna make sure that I don't have this, I don't keep this thing, too long, so people be more inclined, you know what I mean, to come click on the button. We about to run back down the winners real quick, right? And we gonna put us a parlay together, and then we go, I don't know if I'm gonna get up out of here right now, or I'm gonna roll up a blunt and then get up out of here. We can go to 25. We could go to 30, right? Something like that. But let's go and get this parlay. Let's go and get this parlay set, right? We got Oliveira, we got Blatter, we got Ainge, we got Mike Malott, we got Nunes, we got Davorak, we got Kuling, we got Maverick, we got Chris Curtis, and we got Baraho, right? So let me make sure I get this right. And we got Rush and Amanda Nunes. Right. So we got Oliveira over Belbita. We got Davorak over Ursid. We got Blender over Nelson. We got Kuling over Zahabi. That's gonna be a good one. We got Maverick over Jadavikis. We got Curtis over Emo. That's gonna be a good one. We got Baraho over Anders. That's gonna be a good one. We got Danny Age over Nate Landwehr. We got Mike Malott over Adam Fidget. We got Darish over Charles Oliveira. I think that fight goes the distance in a close fight, and Darish edges out a decision over Oliveira because they want to build up that Darish against Al Baszler fight. That's what I feel like. Right, and then we got Amanda Nunes in the main event over Irene Aldana, right? So that's 11 fights. That's 11 fights, right? Let's go through and let's just see what all 11 of the winners give us, right? Oliveira. So we go put in Oliveira in there, right? Matter of fact, let's go and make our parlay, right? Let's go and make our parlay. We go Deverick, right? We go Deverick. We go Blinder, right? We go Maria Oliveira, right? We go Chris Curtis. We go Dan Ainge, Mike Malott, and Amanda Nunes. Right, so that's 7. So that's a 7-fight parlay right there. Nunes, Malott, Ainge, Curtis, Oliveira, Blighter, Dorvac, right? Book it. But I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing, man. Skin the harder way, Southern T. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.